So without further ado, let's get into them. The first one, as you might have expected, because we have along the way kind of related some of the 6 C's to you. The first one is commitment. And we made that commitment, as I said, back when we were very young. And that commitment has never changed. And the only reason for a marriage is to make a commitment.
And too many people
yeah.
these days go into a marriage and say, well, if it doesn't work, we can always get a divorce. That's not the reason or the way to go into a marriage.
It's a commitment for life. And if you're not willing to make that, don't get married. It's not a game. So like the old marriage ceremony says, for better, for worse, richer, poorer, to death us do part. And that's the way we looked at it. We looked at it from the beginning. And in spite of all the things we've gone through, we have never gotten away.
Never wavered from that.
Yes. Number 2, communication.
You can see we still talk to each other.
Yes, we do. Well, as we talked about it in the beginning of our relationship, we spent a lot of time communicating. But once you're married, it's even more important that you keep that communication going.
And communication works 2 ways. It's just not being the one to do the talking, it has to be the one doing the listenings. And sometimes the listening isn't just with your ears, it's with your eyes, because you read body language. And you share things. Sometimes it's hard, but you have to keep an open marriage in communicating your thoughts and your feelings.
Now, I didn't mention we started the 6 C's, but it has to be agreeable to both sides, both the husband and the wife. It's not a one-sided affair.
All 6 of them, okay.
I should mention that we are not marriage counselors. We have no background in this. We are not social workers. We're not psychiatrists, psychologists. We're just a couple of married people that have gone through this. So we've talked about commitment and communication. The third one is caring. Caring about the person and for the person. You've developed your love. But sometimes caring means going beyond that love and committing yourself to the other person's needs, sometimes ahead of your own.
And there's 2 kinds of caring. There's a caring like this, and then there's the caring, taking care of a person when they need assistance, whether it's health-wise or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's all part of caring.
It's being respectful. It's being unselfish. That's all part of caring. But if you've developed a good commitment and good communication, there will be caring. So number 4, compromise. In spite of all the wonderful times you have, there are times when there are going to be disagreements, and it comes up to conflict resolution. And you have to be able to sit down, discuss what's troubling you, discuss what is the best way to go to solve the differences between you.
And a compromise, again, has to be not always one person giving in. And sometimes there's a middle ground, sometimes there's not. And it's something our legislators need to learn too.
So if you've developed a good commitment, good communication, good caring, it will make compromises, resolving those compromises a lot easier. Number 5, comedy, laughter. As we said, it's part of our life, and without it, a marriage can be rather dull. And as Shakespeare said, you know, he wrote a number of comedies in reference to marriage, The Merry Wives of Windsor, and you can think of a lot more. But Reader's Digest also has that article, Laughter is the Best Medicine, and it kind of relieves tension in the marriage, and that's why you have to have laughter all along.
And it isn't laughing at each other, you're laughing with each other.
Or at yourself.
Or at yourself.
I've done a lot of that. All right, that's the 5th one. Let's go to the 6th one. companionship. And as we mentioned, we do a lot of things together, and we have done since we first met. And that doesn't mean we do everything together. And some things I like to do, and she's not into them, like going to auto shows. Well, I like that. And she'll go if we want to buy a new car, but that's about it. And, you know, there's just certain things that we give each other that space so they can do what interests them, even if it does not include you.
But companionship is crucial. You can't just go separate ways and expect a relationship to thrive. You have to have interests in common and enjoy doing things together.
Yeah. Well, that winds up to 6. And I'll go over them briefly. Number 1, commitment. Number 2, communication. Number 3, caring. Number 4, compromise. Number 5, comedy. Number 6, companionship. But that's not all. Around that I draw a circle. And I call that the team. Because as husband and wife, you are a team, or at least you better be. And that means, as any coach will tell you, there's no I in the word team. But that doesn't mean you give up your independence when you become married. It means you bring to that marriage what you can give to it to make it a winning team. And we work at that a lot. We work high-fiving each other.
As we pass each other going different directions as we're out for a run or a walk,
Yeah.
or when we're working in the yard together.
Yeah. Or when we've worked in the yard and come in, we'll give each other a high five and say, okay, good work, teammate. And let me tell you, some of the things we did, like remodeling rental properties and stuff where we've worked together, I couldn't have asked, sometimes I couldn't come up with a tool I wanted, and I'd turn to her and I'd say, find me something.
Find me something that'll work.
And by God, she'd go find something. And bring it to me and I say, it works, that's fine. So I couldn't ask for a better teammate. So the teamwork part of a marriage is supremely important. Now outside of that circle I call the team is your support group. And that includes your family, your friends, and your community. And certainly we have depended on them and they depend on us. It goes both ways. You're there to help support them and they're there to help support you. So that about winds it up. And that's now when people say, well, what's the secret? And we say, well, there is no secret. Common sense. And not only common sense, but just a willingness to make it work. It is work. And I hope that you can enjoy that your married life, or if you're getting married, that you can enjoy it as much as we have. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Bye.